A hero is defined as a person who is admired for their courage, outstanding achievements, or noble qualities.
A person who, in the opinion of others, has unique abilities that causes them to be regarded by many as a role model. This type of person comes along once in a lifetime
and has the ability to inspire a nation.
And then a hero comes along with the strength to carry on, and you cast the fears aside, and you know you can survive. So when you feel like hope is gone, look inside you and be strong, and you finally see the truth, that hero lies in you.
Born Robin Rihanna Fenty on February 20th, 1988 in Barbados, the little girl from Westbury Road, St. Michael, has inspired and motivated generations through her life. Several almost impossible feats punctuate her remarkable journey. At just 17 years old, she closed a record deal with one of music industry's biggest names, Jay-Z. She starred in movies like Battleship and Ocean's 8 and diversified her brand to become one of the world's biggest fashion icons, all while releasing 8 chart-topping studio albums. Time magazine has named her one of the most influential people in the world twice, and at just 26 years old, she became the creative director of the international sportswear brand Puma.
In 2017, she launched her cosmetic brand Fenty Beauty, which generated $550 million in revenue by the end of its first year of operation. Just a year later, she unveiled Savage by Fenty, her lingerie brand, which put tremendous pressure on world-renowned brand Victoria's Secret.
Well, I was like that even before it all happened. Yeah, I was very into fashion. I would just read magazines and watch television and see what the stars wearing. So I was like that ever since.
Oh, and she's won 9 Grammy Awards from a whopping 33 nominations over the years. Before all of these international achievements, Rihanna received her first ever music award at the BMAs in 2006, and there were quite a few.
And the person taking home the award this evening is Rihanna, Music of the Sun! And the winner is Pon the Replay, Rihanna! Music of the Sun, Rihanna.
Rihanna! We are pleased to announce that the song of the year is Pon the Replay, Rihanna!
And the winner is Rihanna.
Best-selling female artist of the year based on hard numbers is Rihanna.
Ladies and gentlemen, the female artist of the year is none other than Rihanna.
My belly hurting. Oh God, thank you, Lord. This is my very first music award. And there's so many people that I have to thank for this. I hope nobody comes on stage with a cane to take me off, because there's so many people I have to thank. First of all, I want to thank my mom and my dad and my family for being so supportive. Thank you, Def Jam, my Def Jam family, for making this possible. Thank you, Kalena, for introducing me to such a beautiful couple, Evan Rogers and Jackie Rogers. Thank you so much for taking me into your home as your own. Carl Sturken, thank you. Thank you, Rob. Oh my God, I could cry. Thank you. Thank you, Ronnie Morris. Thank you, EMI, BMI. Thank you to my entire team, my dancers, my DJ. And if I'm forgetting anybody, Thank you. You know who you are. I love you all. Thank you so much.
To the world, we'd simply like to say to you that Rihanna is only warming up for more international awards. And whoever said that a queen is not honored in her home didn't come to the 2006 Barbados Music Awards.
But to grasp just how truly amazing these achievements are, it's critical to understand the starting point. How often have we heard, you have to be born with a silver spoon to get ahead? Rihanna is living proof to all Barbadians that the most incredible heights can be reached, no matter the background.
It is with distinct honor tonight that I announce that pursuant to Chapter 399 of the Laws of Barbados, the Order of National Heroes Act, that my government will and has taken the decision to recognize that among us there are persons to whom the eligibility criteria as set out in Section 8 of that Act and the schedule is entirely applicable. We ask the people of Barbados to nominate persons, and many nominations came, and we will do the remaining ones by the National Heroes Day of 2022. But it is the judgment of this government that it is appropriate to signal to the world tonight that just as within 1 mile of this space from Bridgetown, there is a national hero by the name of the Right Excellent Sir Garfield St. Albans Sobers, born of humble origins, but capable of capturing the imagination of the world by being the greatest of all time in cricket, that we too have on the other side of Bridgetown, born less than 1 mile from here too, and literally from humble origins, catching a ZR to Commerce School. But above all else, commanding the imagination of the world through the pursuit of excellence, with her creativity, her discipline, and above all else, her extraordinary commitment to the land of her birth. Pursuant to Clause B of the schedule, and having satisfied that Ambassador Robin Rihanna Fenty has given service to Barbados which has been exemplified by visionary and pioneering leadership, extraordinary achievement, and the attainment of the highest excellence that has redounded to the honor of Barbados, my government has the distinct honor of recommending to the President, who has kindly and graciously accepted, that Ambassador Robin Rihanna Fenty tomorrow morning shall have conferred upon her the Order of National Hero of Barbados. I ask you to please come and stand and to accept on behalf of a grateful nation. You can come, my dear. On behalf of a grateful nation, but an even prouder people, we therefore present to you the designee for National Hero of Barbados, Ambassador Robin Rihanna Fenty. May you continue to shine like a diamond and bring honor to your nation by your words, by your actions, and to do credit wherever you shall go. God bless you, my dear. Thank you.
When the history of Calypso is written in Barbados, the chapter on TC is going to be a fantastic one.
There was an original artist within TC that started to really come to the fore when she started to work with Sonia Mullins.
Sonia's plan was to launch Terencia Coward as a solo artist.
Ladies and gentlemen, for constantly striving for excellence, never believing that place of origin, gender, or social circumstances are limitations, but rather masterfully using them as stepping stones to greatness. For, in a very short period of time, captivating the world with her unique performance style and hit after hit after hit. For outfitting millions in trendy, cutting-edge apparel and accessories, regardless of our size, ethnicity, or age. And then, for using her resources and influence to promote equality, tolerance, diversity, respect, and responsibility, all in her Bajan beautiful accent and shining bright like a diamond. Robin Rihanna Fenty, National Hero of Barbados. The Right Excellent Robin Rihanna Fenty. And ma'am, I'd like to ask you if you would like to give a few words after you have greeted the head party.
Good morning. I'm not sure if it's good afternoon yet, but good morning, Barbados. This is a day that I would never, ever forget. It's also a day that I never saw coming. Barbadians are proud people, you know? We are probably the proudest people I know. And no matter where I go in the world, I take that pride with me. No matter where we go, the world is gonna know that we Bajan to the bone. No matter if it's the accent, the constant missing Shafet, the sunshine, the people, man, the people. Y'all are the true heroes of Barbados. And I take y'all with me wherever I go. I'm so proud to be a Bajan. I'm gonna be a Bajan till the day I die. This is still the only place I've ever called home. I love Barbados, I love you guys, and I pray that the youth continue to push Barbados forward. I'm so proud of you. Prime Minister Mia Mottley, thank you so much for honoring me in this way. I have traveled the world and received several awards and recognitions, but nothing compares to being recognized in the soil that you grew in. So I thank you so much for this. Thank you.
Coming up next, I sit down with Prime Minister Mia Mottley to discuss the criteria for becoming a national hero.
The war in Afghanistan has occupied the world stage for over 2 decades. And now, the 19-year, 10-month conflict has finally come to an end. But for many across the world, there are still lessons to be learned and regrets fresh in their minds. 2 such individuals are Bajan photojournalist Rudy Marshall and Bajan Mike Leacock, Sergeant J2 in the British military. We let them tell their stories as CBC presents Afghanistan, Thursday, December 9th at 9:03 p.m. on CBC TV8.
Prime Minister Mottley, over the last few days, there have been discussions in the general public on if Rihanna meets the criteria to receive the highest honor in our country. What led your government to honor Rihanna in this way?
I think when you look at the legislation, you will see that the attainment of excellence is one of the key grounds upon which that status is conferred. Of course, we all know that of sacrifice and that of courage, and most of our heroes exemplify that because for much of our history, we've had to fight those battles. But in the world in which we live today, it is the attainment of excellence that will also determine our future more than anything else, while the governments we have, mercifully, have protected our freedoms. In Rihanna's case, it is unbelievable that a young lady from humble origins, just outside of Bridgetown, could rise to become, according to Billboard, not us, one of the 10 most important artists ever to live in this world. It is amazing that she hasn't only stayed within her discipline of musical endeavor, but she then transitioned to business. But it is what she did in business and how she did it. You and I know the stories of every single shade of makeup. Men might not realize it. You and I know the stories of her putting fat women, thin women, tall women, short women, differently able women, pregnant women, to be able to model her clothes and her lingerie. To my mind, this is where Rihanna, Robin, has remained quintessentially Barbadian. Because what is it that we know most about our country? That even in all that we do, we see people, especially those who are most vulnerable and not seen. So that for her to have a makeup line that considers every single human being, or for her to have a fashion line that considers every single type of body and form, says to me that we raised her well as a Barbadian. And when we combine those Bajan roots with her global excellence, then tell me who better satisfies the criteria that was established in that legislation passed on the 20th of April 1998.
With the exception of Sir Gary Sobers, we honor our heroes posthumously. Tell me about the importance of honoring Rihanna now.
We honored Sir Gary as a living hero. And we did it deliberately when we established, you would recall that I would have been the Minister of Culture at the time, that would have managed a process to carry it forward. And Prime Minister Arthur and myself felt it important at that time, and it was shared with the rest of the cabinet, that there ought to be a living embodiment of excellence to forever remind Barbadians of what they can aspire to. And we believe that Rihanna does that as well, in the same way that Sir Gary has done it for so many of us. And there is nothing inscribed anywhere in our law. In fact, it is the exact opposite, that says that a person has to be dead to be a national hero. For most people, because of the circumstances in which we forged our institution of national heroes, it meant that many of them would have existed because, would have lived before, because of the fact that we had not done anything like this for over 300 years. I anticipate that there may well be others who are granted the honor posthumously, but equally, there may well be others who merit it while being alive. In our judgment, Rihanna merited it while being alive and stands as that person who can embody that global excellence with Bajan roots in a way that we believe necessary to inspire those many, many tens of thousands of Barbadian young girls and boys.
Ambassador Fenty is now Barbados' youngest national hero. What do you hope this message sends to younger generations?
That in the same way she went to school, getting on a ZR, going up to Commermere, and dreaming of being the best that she can be and building her empire, I want every Barbadian boy and girl to believe that they too can be global citizens with Bajan roots. Because once we have those numbers in scale, then I trust me, this country's future will be assured. And it's not just, mind you, about the economic contribution. It's also about the fact that she sees people, she hears people, she feels them. Her philanthropic contributions have been second to none as a Barbadian in this nation. And look at it. You see the work she's done at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital in tribute to her grandparents. You see what she has done with respect to when COVID hit. Rihanna was one of the first people to come forward and to try to buy ventilators for us. When the online schooling started, she was one of the first people to come and to be able to provide those opportunities for those Barbadian young kids whose parents may not have been able to afford the purchase of the online instruments. So when you combine that with her ever-present Bajanness, whether reflected in her accent or her commitment to Shafet, when you recall what she has done globally and gone where there's 7.5 billion people in the world, you know. 7.5 billion people. And she has gone to be recorded as one of the 10 greatest artists of all times by Billboard. Those are achievements that we really can begin to appropriately place in context. And it is for that reason that we have taken the decision to do what we did, and we hope that it will inspire many, many, many more.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much, Krystal.
When we return, Rihanna's school principal recalls the early signs of greatness.
Don't miss a repeat of the informative youth town hall meeting, A Conversation with Future Barbados, repeating in 3 parts, with part 1 on December 7th, part 2 December 8th, and part 3 on December 9th, all airing at 1:30 p.m. only on CBC TV8.
Understanding who we are and where we've come from.
Again, I want to commend what is the proposed new charter of Barbados.
There is an oppressor in this society.
BDF and the Army and discipline and structure provides an opportunity for all young Barbadians.
And when we mention reform, we want to start with this reform from as early as primary school. Because at the end of the day, most people want to be listened to, heard, and understood, and a language should not be the barrier to that.
Barbadians must earn their living. Barbadians' voices must rise and rank above, and they are equally valid globally.
We are CBC TV8, Beijing TV.
Rihanna has shown time and time again she does not forget where she has come from.
All my family for the love and support. All my fans in Barbados, thank you so much. I'd like to thank Def Jam for allowing me to do this. Ronnie Mars and Timeless Entertainment, thank you so much. Thank you. Karma Mayor, of course.
Rihanna's followers know everything about her early life. They know her childhood friends, where she went to school, of course, Combermere. Mr. Paris, you were the principal at Combermere when she was just about to springboard to stardom. Tell me, what was that like, and did you spot anything special early on?
I think that from quite early, one could see that she was someone who, she had goals, and she knew what it is she wanted to do. I would never forget, Combermere had organized its Mr. and Miss Combermere pageant. Her performance at that pageant singled her out as being exceptional among all the other contestants. And that pageant was organized by our guidance counselor at the time, Miss Kim Jones. I think I do recall that it was held at the Lloyd Erskine Sanford Center. And from then, I knew that she was going to go places. As a matter of fact, in that same year, that was 2004, in that same year, following something which I had conceptualized when I first became principal, that is that Combermere was a school that produced many musicians. And I said I wanted to be able to bring present and past musicians together to stage a concert at the Frank Cullimer Hall, because I thought that this would be a good way to showcase the talent of the school. Fortunately, Mr. Roddy Roach, who was on one of the executive members of the Commonwealth Scholars Association at the time, had a similar idea. And the two of us came together, and we put together a committee that planned this concert. Roddy himself came up with the title for the concert, Colors of Combermere. And I said to the committee then, I said, look, there's a student here who must perform at this concert. Remember, it was both present and past. I said she must perform. And one day as Robin was passing by the office, just outside the office, I called her and, told her what I was planning and that I wanted her to perform at this special Colors of Combermere concert at the Frank Cullimer Hall. From then, things started happening at a rapid rate. I recall that the booklet that we produced for that 2004 concert was held in November. I think it was November 14th, 2004. We were writing a little bio, something, a little blurb on each performer. And I was given the task by the committee to write something on Rihanna. And I would share with you what I actually wrote on Robin at the time. And I'm reading what is written in the booklet. It says here, Robin Fenty, vocalist. Robin Fenty is a fourth form student who recently won the Miss Combermere pageant. Robin is blessed with a beautiful voice, with a timbre and range that are well suited for popular music. She is one of the rising stars of whom much will be heard in the music circles in the future. That's what I wrote on Robin at the time. So from back then, I saw something exceedingly special in her. Shortly after the Colors of Combermere concert, Robin came to me and requested permission to go to New York to do an audition. I said yes immediately. You see, my concept of education was perhaps different from that of many people. There are persons who thought, well, you know, she ought to concentrate on her academics and whatnot, get her certificates, finish her education. I didn't see it like that. I had seen that the world had changed. And the world having changed, we could not continue to do things the same way we had done them all along. We could not withhold opportunities from young people. It is being able to strike at the right time that makes a lot of difference to what you achieve in the end. To have delayed that 2 years or even 1 year, we may never have heard of her in the way that we have.
Entertainers across the globe speak about Rihanna's drive and determination, and I think that's something that a lot of young Barbadians can aspire to. In a 2005 interview with Carol Roberts, Rihanna credited that drive and that determination, that commitment to her years at Combermere and being in the cadets. There's actually a clip that I want you to watch.
Industry information says that you're a really hard worker, that
you.
You're committed to what you do it with grace and style, and you just work hard. And every time I read it, and yesterday when I interviewed Mr. Rogers and he said it, I was like, go Rihanna, Rihanna, go. That's from home again? That's discipline from home?
Oh, definitely, especially going to school at Combermere and being in cadets.
Oh yeah, you were a cadet.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You had to wake up at ridiculous hours, and you were going and going and going and going until finally you had to stop. But you taught you time management.
Yeah.
They really helped to discipline me in that area.
Do you like where you are right now? You're singing, you're dancing. Is this what you always wanted to do?
Absolutely. From the time when I was really young, I used to listen to people like Beyonce, Mariah Carey. I used to listen to Whitney Houston a lot. Yeah. And they really encouraged me and influenced me a lot vocally. And I knew from really young this is what I wanted to do.
When did you realize it isn't that I can hold a tune, it is that I can sing?
I just always had a personal, it was just my personal instinct. And I kept, people complimenting me on the way I sang, and I just kept going after it over and over.
Let's look at Combermere. What was that like going to school at Combermere? Did you, while you were going to school, did you say, I'm going to do this and I'm going to study hard, I'm going to make mommy and daddy proud, but I want to sing?
This was always the bigger picture. Always. Like, I always wanted to do this. Even during school, I would leave school to fly to New York to do demos and stuff.
I didn't know that.
But I went through a phase where there were several occupations that I had in mind. I wanted to be a pilot one time until I found out that it required physics.
Yeah.
And I hate physics.
Okay.
So that was only drain. But another one, psychology. That was it until I left Combermere.
Yeah.
Psychology.
All right. Family and friends, were they, okay, Rihanna, stop singing now, or did they always encourage you, give you support?
My brother? Okay, Rihanna, stop singing no.
He's older or younger?
And Robin, I am known as Robin.
Yeah?
Yeah, stop singing no. Like, we would always battle with each other to see whether his Xbox could get loaded on my CD player. It was crazy.
And mom and dad, what were their thoughts?
Well, I always used to pressure. I used to give my mom pressure. Like, Mommy, I need to get a demo done. Like, and she started an account for me, for recording expenses and stuff.
That's great.
And I pushed her. She kept saying, like, when I was really young, I used to say, Mom, she used to ask me what I want to be when I grow up. So I would say an entertainer. And she would always say, okay, don't say that in public. But I kept going after it, and she saw, how determined I was. And she eventually started to encourage me.
Good.
And she's very supportive until this day.
let's go back to Combermere. What was school like?
I loved being around my friends at school. But there were teachers that I loved, I was really close to. Mr. Price, I loved him.
So she said she loved you, and we know you loved her. Tell me, how proud are you of her achievements?
To hear her say that makes one feel that you've done something that has affected someone in a positive way. So I feel good to know that a student would feel that way about me as principal, because she was speaking, I guess, when I was principal at the time. I knew that she was going to go far, but her achievements, the pace of her achievements, that pace has been astounding. And she has used her talents not only in music, but she has used her entrepreneurial skills in some ways that can teach a lesson to many. I think that overall, one does not get that from just teaching. One gets that from a spirit that is deep within the individual, a spirit of entrepreneurship, an understanding of how the world is functioning, exposure to others who can guide you in the right direction, and opportunity. Grasping opportunity.
Mr. Paris, you have been in the education system for decades. Would you describe Rihanna as a role model for the youth?
Rihanna is a model for many young people. There are people who they use the word role model in certain kinds of ways, and then they try to put a straw man and then lock it down, etc. I said to you that she is a model for young people. I'm not narrowing it down. I'm saying that in a broad way, she has been able to show young people how to use opportunity, how to use talent, how to use their entrepreneurial skills to achieve and not to forget where they came from. Not to forget. There are many others who could have achieved in the way in which she has achieved, who could have felt, well, okay, I'm now living in a developed country and all my concentration will be on this developed country. She did not do that. Every opportunity she had, she highlighted Barbados. She did not use her achievements and the wealth created selfishly either. She is known around the world for her philanthropy as well. She gave back to Barbados. She gave to the Queen Elizabeth Hospital for the treatment of patients who suffer with a particular ailment. She, having established the Clara Lionel Foundation, she gave a number of scholarships. Before I left Combermere, there's one Combermere who benefited from one of the scholarships that she offered. But those scholarships were offered across islands in the Caribbean. So she has not restricted herself only to Barbados either. There are like 20 countries in which the work that she has been doing, the philanthropic work that she has been doing, has been recognized, and that work affects the lives of people in all those 20 countries. She has given money to persons who have suffered abuse in New York. And we have not heard half of the Rihanna story yet. As I predicted that she would have been, much will be heard of her in music circles, I'm saying now, much more will be heard of Rihanna in the future across the globe.
Ossie Moore was a real man born on the 30th of March 1900 in Lanes Gap, Thames Bay, St. James. His real name was George Ethelbert Oscar Moore. Jokes attributed to him were common in the 1950s and 1960s. There were either a strange twist in logic, an inability to appreciate figurative language, or just plain corny. They usually started, wait, you hear this one? You hear the latest one about Ozzy Moore?
Forbes estimates Rihanna is now worth $1.7 billion, making her the wealthiest female musician in the world and second only to Oprah Winfrey as the richest female entertainer. One of the most beautiful things about the superstar is that for all she has accomplished, she has given back times over. The Clara Lionel Foundation was founded back in 2012 by Rihanna in honor of her grandparents Clara and Lionel Brathwaite, and just last year, she was named Celebrity Philanthropist of the Year. The CLF is shifting how the world responds to natural disasters through emergency preparedness and community resilience projects. Its education work tackles barriers to access through holistic initiatives around the globe. Through the voices of Rihanna and her fans, CLF also advocates for policy and systems change while mobilizing people to take action in response to the world's injustices. Its programs include primary and secondary education programs in Malawi, Barbados, and Senegal, emergency response programs in the Caribbean and across the globe, and the Clara Lionel Foundation Global Scholarship Program. It has raised over $80 million to date and has funded over 150 projects worldwide.
Rihanna's Diamond Ball is a glamorous charity event which raises funds for the CLF. Every year, the Diamond Ball offers the foundation an opportunity to raise funds for its global programs and features special guest performances. Rihanna has also partnered with UNICEF in the past as she continues to show her love and respect for humanity. In 2017, Harvard named her Humanitarian of the Year. In 2012, Rihanna donated $1.75 million to the Queen Elizabeth Hospital. The funds were used to purchase equipment for the radiotherapy department.
Since 2016, the CLF's education work in Barbados has provided primary and secondary schools as well as non-profit organizations with funding for youth development projects and academic programs.
And when the COVID-19 pandemic hit last year, there was a global race for ventilators. Rihanna put her country first.
Hello everyone. I want to thank our own ambassador Robin Rihanna Fenty and her Clara Lionel Foundation, as well as the Jack Dorsey Start Small Foundation, for coming together and donating 4,000 tablets to Barbadian school children. We all know that education is the most important gift that we can give any child, and to the extent that we can ensure that there is no digital divide among all of our students, that is our duty. Of course, our government will continue to make sure that we get there. But to the extent that we can receive assistance from those who care enough, who love us enough to be able to help us lift the burden on this long journey, then we say thank you. Because we can always do it better when we do it together. We are always stronger when we work together. And Robin, as usual, thank you. Your Bajanness, your commitment to this country, your commitment to this region in the context of building climate resilience has not gone unnoticed. The world has watched you be that extraordinary Bajan, that extraordinary global citizen that has not forgotten that their roots are right here in Barbados. Thank you, and God bless you and all who work with the Clara Lionel Foundation for continuing to make that difference to the people whose voice may not always be heard and whose presence may not always be seen. But we know that you care enough. And to bring on other partners like Jack Dorsey with his Start Small Foundation is truly a blessing to us all. We thank you and we wish you all the very best as you walk the world in the middle of this global pandemic. Know that we love you. Keep safe. There's a place here waiting for you, because I know all of these school children want to thank you themselves and to say we love you. Take care.
Whether she's in the studio, in the boardroom, or creating new designs, Rihanna continues to give her all while still wanting more.
Yes, Krystal, she has shown us all how hard work and determination with a mindset and attitude of greatness can see any dream fulfilled.
As Barbadians, we are all proud of Rihanna's story and salute her as our newest national hero.
Thanks for joining us.